Good afternoon, weather watchers. This is me, Mr. Evans, back with another video on talking about what's coming up this week with a potential historic severe weather outbreak on Wednesday and Thursday this week. So let's go ahead and start and get into it. So to start off for Wednesday, as you guys can see here, we have a marginal risk and a slight risk as of right now. I really do think that based on looking at the models, and you guys will see too, that I really think that we could get an enhanced risk upgraded tomorrow. But as you guys can see here, we have a slight risk ranging from eastern Texas through into Tennessee there. And I want to bring your guys' attention to down here as we have a 15% significant chance for large hail, basically 2 inches in diameter or greater. And that threat is there also for tornadoes tomorrow, as a few potential long track tornadoes could be an issue that we have to watch for tomorrow. So let's go ahead and look at the dew point. So basically what the dew point is it tells us how much moisture and what the temperature is in the atmosphere. So as you guys can see, for at 9 p.m. tomorrow night, the dew points are going to be in the mid to upper 60s. So that's something that we call like rich moisture. What that basically is it has the ingredients all together for a severe weather event. So now let's go ahead and look at the radar. So this is today's date is February the 28th, but this event is tomorrow and the time will be 5 p.m. So as you guys can see here, we start to get some isolated cells to develop, especially across western Arkansas there, and then down into southwestern Arkansas as well. And now we get into 6 p.m. As you guys can see, these cells start to get a little bit more organized across Arkansas here. But something else we need to watch is for a potential QLCS to develop across eastern Missouri through Indiana. What QLCS stands for is quasi-linear convective system. Basically what that is just like a line of storms, pretty much. So now we'll look at 7 p.m. So as you guys can see here, we get more cells to develop across western Tennessee back through Arkansas and northwestern Mississippi. And as you guys can see, our QLCS is starting to develop across Illinois and Indiana there. And as you guys can see, I have this one particular cell circled in green, and that's a long track supercell that's going to develop that we really need to watch for a potential long track and event. So as you guys can see, this is the start, something that we call a start of a violent renegade long track supercell. And basically what that is, it's a supercell that breaks off the main solar system by itself and becomes very strong and powerful, as you guys can see. And these are the type of storms that put down your EF2 plus tornadoes. I really hate to say that, especially what after happened in Norman the other night, but it's just reality with storms like these, you know. And as you guys can see, our northern QLCS is really developed. And then down here in the red, we start to get southern convection that develops into a QLCS as well and joins that main line to the north. And as you guys can see here, now we get another cell that we have to watch as well in Tennessee there. And so, but that one would probably most likely go linear, so not really a big concern as the cell to the south of there. And then, you know, we're just got to watch these QLCS storms just to the north, you know, just because you never know, you might get a brief spin up in them, you never know. So now we're at 10 p.m. So our QLCS to the north really starts to dissipate and weaken by now as temperatures starting to drop. And now we really have to put our focus to these two cells across Tennessee there, as those could potentially pose a large hail risk and also tornadoes as well. And now, as you guys can see, we still have what's starting to become some linear cells is just starting to develop, and then like we've been watching that one cell right there, it turns into something linear, so not really a big concern anymore. And now as you guys can see here, we might have a little isolated scatter cells back to the west across Arkansas and Tennessee left over. But as you guys can see, that QLCS kind of squall linear looking line starts to really develop and get its act together by midnight tomorrow night across Tennessee there, and then just some leftover storms across what was our QLCS from the afternoon. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the shear. So as you guys can see here, these purples and pinks and reds and stuff, whatever it looks like for you guys, and yellows and golds. So that's basically showing that we're going to have shear. This is basically the wind in the atmosphere. So basically 50 plus knot winds, more realistically about 60, anywhere from around 60 to 70. Now let's go look at the supercell composite. As you guys can see, not too high. So it's looking about in probably an enhanced risk level, about maybe 15 to 22 level, maybe. Now the significant tornado parameter is about between 3 and 7, so not really as high, but it's going to go up probably, and just something we'll have to watch. And now this is our updraft velocity. So this basically tells us if we get rotating storms. And as you guys can see, this one here that crosses the Arkansas Mississippi state line, that cell that we were watching looks like it's definitely putting down a large violent tornado. So heads up for you folks there, as a potential large violent tornado could head your way tomorrow night. And now this is the Skywarn Spartan prediction for tomorrow, based off of tomorrow's severe weather event and based off the models and the radar runs and stuff from the SPC. I think they will issue an enhanced risk for eastern central Arkansas and northern Mississippi and southwest Tennessee for the threat of damaging winds and EF2 plus tornadoes, and some possibly could be long track strong tornadoes, as you guys can see on the updraft velocity there. Now let's talk about the big day, the event that everybody's talking about. So as you guys can see here, we do have a enhanced risk as of right now that will most likely overnight be upgraded to a moderate risk, and then very confident that we could even get a high risk issued as well. And they already have it as a significant severe weather event, stating and noting that they think that this could be a regional outbreak. I think potentially it could be historic, and you will see why. So we're starting at 7 o'clock in the morning already. So just in time for rush hour across some big cities here like Little Rock and northern Oklahoma. And we're really watching this cell right here in extreme northwestern Arkansas and stuff, and just these scatter cells, because you never know what they could have the potential doing. And they start to get their act together by 8 o'clock, and so watch out Joplin there, nice looking cell just to the southeast of you there. So something you definitely need to be on high alert for. And now we're at 1 p.m. So now we get into the main event. So as you guys can see, we start to get some cells to develop across Tennessee, Missouri, Arkansas, and especially eastern Oklahoma there. So that's something we're definitely going to have to watch out for. Now we will look at the moisture and the dew points. As you guys can see, this yellow line indicates the threat for, doesn't indicate a threat. This yellow line is the dry line itself. So what the dry line is basically where the storms will fire up and develop along. And then this red line basically indicates the position of that warm front. As you guys can see, it's starting to lift northward. And then in this black circle region, this is where the some of the biggest severe weather could turn out to be on Wednesday. I'm really thinking southern Arkansas and the northern Louisiana, pretty much the Arklatex region could potentially needs to be on high alert and watches out. Now let's talk about the bulk shear. So this is basically what the wind is in the atmosphere. So as you guys can see, by 1 o'clock, it's already at 60 to 70 knots across Arkansas there and Oklahoma. So definitely need to be on the watch. And as you guys can see back across Texas here, right where that jet stream is with that low pressure, 135 knot winds up in the atmosphere. So that's would be considered violent to us. Now let's look at the significant tornado parameter. It's kind of low right now, about 1 p.m. in the afternoon, but it's going to go up dramatically, I believe, and we could potentially be off charts. Now let's look at the supercell composite. So basically between 15 and 22 across Arkansas and Oklahoma there. but I believe that could go up and be off the charts as well. Now let's look at the Skywarn spotting prediction. So my prediction for Thursday is I think we'll get a high risk for tornadoes, and I believe that it will be maxed out, and this event will produce violent tornadoes and possibly be historical. My second prediction for this storm event is that they will upgrade it to a moderate risk overnight tonight. And now let's read what the National Weather Service had to say out of Little Rock, Arkansas. So there are no menacing words with this discussion as concerned and seeing some severe potential on Wednesday, followed by a potentially significant severe weather outbreak on Thursday and into Thursday night. Has further increased this morning while some details remain unclear still between two episodes. The overall setup appears to be more than conducive for significant severe weather on Thursday, including several tornadoes, some strong and violent ones. Widespread damaging winds and large hail. The flood threat has also increased significantly from previous cycles, with an area of enhanced flooding potential over much of central and to northeastern Arkansas. River flooding is also expected, with the potentially worsening conditions within already flooded White River Basin. Details will be below. And that's basically talking about the tornado threat now. It's going to be a worst case scenario for Arkansas. Generally isn't too far above the going forecast. Unfortunately, should the effective warm front lift more northward, which may be hard to achieve based on the likelihood of at least some more persistent WAA generated precip during the day, more of the state will reside within the relative warm sector, and a more widespread severe weather outbreak could materialize. Favorably, there will be the potential for the meso or Fenner scale failure points that cannot be resolved ADTM, but we hope to iron those details out in the next few forecast cycles. Bottom line, this is shaping up to be one of the more significant severe threats we've seen in a while. All interests should monitor future forecasts closely as changes are a given, and we would be quite lucky to see this even bust or trend back towards the best case scenario. That does not appear to be likely, however. So you heard it itself from the National Weather Service. Basically, in a nice way, they're saying this is going to be historical without raising an alarm yet. So that's what we are for, is to raise an alarm, because all of you guys need to be on alert and work and look out. So I want to thank everybody for watching today's video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video all around, as this video needs to get out to the public to inform y'all of what is coming. So I hope everybody has a good rest of your days, and don't forget to never stop chasing.